All right, hello everyone. It is Mystic Juicer back with some more Fantasy Strike action, and today I want to just take a little bit of time to talk about Rook. Have you heard the good news? Rook is awesome in this game. So I thought I'd just do basically a very simple kind of move overview, just look at the various options that he has on the ground and the air, look at his supers and kind of what they do, and then talk a little bit about what his basic game plan is, how those moves help contribute to him being able to do that, and show off a couple of different options you have in terms of mix-up options on knockdown and where he really excels at being mean to your opponent. This is, as always, I'm still working off of the April build, which I think is, at the time of this recording, still the most recent build of the game. So stuff might change as the game develops, but I think a lot of this stuff is set in stone, so to speak. Hey, we got puns. All right, so Rook. I really recommend, if you are going to start playing this game and you're not super familiar with fighting games, or you just like grapplers, like you're familiar with fighting games and you like grapplers, you like big bodies, you like dealing a lot of damage, and you like having a lot of health, you can't go, too badly picking up Rook. He's a really good, I think, beginner character, and he's got that grappler playstyle that I really love. So what does that mean? So as a grappler, it means that his normal throws deal 2 damage instead of the standard 1. So basically every other member of the cast deals 1 damage except for Midori off of a successful throw, whereas Rook will deal 2, which is already pretty delicious. Throws are very good in this game. A lot of attacks, especially normal attacks or jump-ins and stuff like that from other characters, or special moves especially, are unsafe on block. So if you successfully block a move, you can usually get a throw punish with Rook especially. I actually don't know if grab distance is very different based on character, but I suspect so, and at least Rook's grab distance is pretty sweet. I think from here, no, not quite, just a little bit closer than that. There we go. Yeah, so from downtown. Pretty good grab distance there. And so anytime you block a move, you can do worse than just to try pushing forward or back A to see if you can punish it while you're still in block stun. And then on the first possible frame, if you just hold a direction and press A as quickly as possible, you should get a throw if you're able to throw your opponent. But before we get too much into his throws, let's talk about a little bit about his neutral tools. So his neutral A is a sweep. It's fairly short distance. Show that off, but it does give you knockdown. So not the greatest distance there. Got to be pretty close. I think we're already in grab distance there. Yeah. So you have to be a little closer than grab distance. But against an opponent, again in this game, the way you deal with throws, the way you counter throws, is either be attacking them while they are trying to get the throw off, or just be pushing no inputs whatsoever. So long as you are not pushing left or right, you're not blocking, you're not walking towards anybody. There's no crouching in this game, so you can't crouch anyway. That's not an option. As long as you're not walking towards or away, basically, you are completely safe from being thrown. You cannot be thrown. If somebody attempts a throw against you, what happens is you will instead throw them, and you'll gain full super meter, which is pretty disgusting. And it is pretty damn hype as well. So if you're in neutral, right, if you throw by pulling away or pushing towards and then pushing A, but if you're just standing there neutral, if they're standing there neutral, you get the knockdown and 1 damage. So not great in terms of damage. You can't combo this into anything else. you know, doing other stuff and nothing is coming out. Just to show that. Yeah, so you can't do any, you can't follow it up, but it does give you knockdown and some nice setups, which I'll talk about a little bit later. His other attack moves, so his command normals essentially, his forward is this 2-stage kick. When you can see he kind of switches from raising his knee to extending his leg. That first raise counts as an attack, so it will, you know, hit pretty deep if somebody's doing a jump in on you, if they're neutral jumping at you, or they're empty jumping at you, I should say, or if they're just kind of, if they are, yeah, if they've just entered or they're in recovery or something and you're close enough, this will typically deal 2 damage. You'll get them on the knee and then also on the boot portion. And just a little bit about that boot, it really is active so long as it's in the air. It's got a hurt box that lasts forever. We joked after I first played this game, I joked that like long after the heat death of the universe, this boot will still have active frames. So yeah, this is a great spacing tool. It's just like a giant stop sign, essentially. This is the no fun zone, and you cannot enter it unless you leave all your fun at the door. Your other command normal is a back. So back A gives you a clap. This will destroy projectiles. It also deals 1 damage. It's got a pretty good hitbox in terms of dealing with jump-ins or moves. It extends a little bit above his clapping palms, so it's a little bit above that little clap zone there. And if your opponent is empty jumping at you or has an aerial move with fairly low priority and you hit this very deep, like it's extremely close. I can't really show this off at the practice dummy because it doesn't quite work if they're neutral jumping, which is the only other option I have for the practice dummy. And it definitely doesn't work on the ground because I just throw them. You have to be very, very close for this to work. And you immediately follow it up with C. So you just back clap and C. And this game has like 8 frames of input, not input delay, but basically like if you push a button, it'll pretend that button is active for kind of 8 frames kind of thing. I don't know exactly what that's called, but it's very lenient in terms of the timing. So as soon as you clap, if you press C basically immediately, if you are in range of being able to follow it up, Rook will clap and then immediately grab the opponent out of the air and throw them in the ground. So you get 2 damage off of this in some kind of rare circumstances. So it doesn't hurt just to try it, right? Get into the habit of clapping and then immediately going over to C. So those are his ground normals. He's got 2 ground specials as well. I'm going to talk very briefly about this move for a second here. It's basically like a launching, covers distance. It's a bit of a dash. While he's glowing blue, he's got a point of armor. So if he gets hit once, he's going to ignore it entirely and then deliver his rocky payload directly to his opponent. So it'll travel through exactly 1 hit. If it gets hit by a multi-hit move that hits twice or more, it will be interrupted and you'll get knocked back. So it looks like it hits low, but remember there's no high or low in this game. It's all left or right is the mix-up. There's no crouching, so this is just a forward regular hit. That's basically all I have to talk about that. It's a good move for getting distance on your, or a closing distance against your opponent, and against some circumstances, you can use it as well to get in and get the hit. As you can see, it does knock down. It does push them pretty far away. I'm just going to see if I can... Yeah, you can't really chase them down too effectively with it. Let me just knock down and see how... Okay, yeah, no, it puts you pretty close. See if I hit it from further away. Yeah, okay. So if you do successfully land the hit and get the knockdown, then immediately pressing special one again. So B, press B again, and you will be right next to them on their wake up. Can you do anything on their wake up? Curious now how much time you have. Yeah, not too much. You can't, you know, get some jump in setups or whatnot, but you are close enough to start threatening kind of mix up A. Let's call it that. And that is Rook's bread and butter move here. His armored command grab. So this again, he's flashing blue. So long as you are blue, you are in an unthrowable state. First of all, can't be thrown in this position. So long as you are flashing blue, until the blue runs out, you can't be thrown. So basically, his startup and active frames. So for 28 frames, you are immune to throws. You're also immune to basically any kind of damage. You can be hit multiple times. And so long as it's not hit, you're not hit by super of some kind, then your throw is going to continue. So what this basically means is this is your horrifying beat stick that you are going to spend all match threatening your opponent with. And it's just another throw. It deals 2 damage. It knocks down. And it's got armor. So you can anti-air with it. If somebody jumps in at you, you're basically trying to press this as late as possible before you are actually hit, so that, you know, the armor will become active, you will become hit, and you'll take damage. So both of these moves, both this and the launcher kind of move, you will take damage for anything. It's real. You will die in real life if you die during those moves. It will interrupt them if it kills you. But they will continue going. So you can, again, time it as late as possible. Timing it as late as possible is the name of the game. So you can beat jump-ins with it. You can beat pokes with it. So as long as it, you know, you can even multi-hit attacks, so long as those attacks don't put them in an unthrowable state. And even some of them that do, so long as you time it really late, if their unthrowable, you know, property runs out before your grab runs out, and it is active for a while, right? 15 frames is pretty long. You'll still get the throw. And because Rook is one of the few characters, Rook and Midori, both of the grapplers in this game, have 8 hit points rather than the standard 6 or 5 for rushdown characters. So long as you're doing even an even trade, so if they hit you twice and you throw them successfully with this, you're still coming out ahead, right? You still got more hit points than they do. They're still closer to the grave. Get it? Closer to the grave? Yeah. They're still closer to the grave than you are. So take those trades, C-throw a lot. Okay? If you do get a successful command throw, you are at just the right distance to command throw them again when they wake up. So you're like, oh my god, Juicer, that's insane. So if they try to poke me from this distance, if they try to close distance and do something of, you know, something scary to me, they just get thrown? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So do this a lot. You are the scary. You're trying to get into this position here from this distance. They should be crapping themselves that you are going to see throw them. So what can you do? What can your opponent do against this amazing, super fair, super awesome move? The command throws and super throws, so anything that isn't a normal throw, has this shared property in the game where you can jump right out of it. You can, let me be clear, you can jump upwards out of it. Okay? Your opponent can fall down into the throw, but it's a little bit, you know, the timing's a little bit off, but there is this moment of vulnerability. It's usually when they're coming right as they're coming down. But if they're on the upward trajectory, They're absolutely safe from this command throw. Okay. So right after knockdown, right after you've command thrown them, so long as they jump up and back, you will not be able to successfully command throw. If you mistime it and they neutral jump, so if you do it like you're trying to get them immediately, or you're thinking they're going to stand there and take it, if they neutral jump and they time it in such a way that the active frames disappear, they will be able to come down with an attack, hit you, and then combo you for like 3 damage. So there is that risk that they can go for a neutral jump. They think that you're going for a really early command throw. They can neutral jump and basically hit you for 3. So you want to avoid that. You definitely don't want to trade, 2 damage, since you've just thrown them for 2 off of the normal throw or the command throw. You don't want them to be able to stand up and then trade and deal 3 damage to you, right? So against neutral throws, you can try delaying the command throw. You can wait for them to come down with their attack or just with their landing and then command throw them. And then you've, again, had a good trade against their single damage attack in the air versus your 2 damage super or command throw. So that's pretty good for you. If they jump up and away, though, the only thing you really have is you can go for this forward boot. And this will probably catch them. I can't remember exactly. It might be some different circumstances, but you can probably catch them with the end of the boot. Again, it is active for a very, very long time. And if you get the timing exactly right, there's 1 frame where you can normal throw them immediately after their wake up. I practiced for like half an hour. I can't really get it. So I'm just going to, for me personally, I'm never going to make that work. So I consider it not real. and other people around my level will it's probably not a real thing that you can aim to try to go for. So it's basically they are going to neutral jump, or they're going to jump away, or they can super you. If they have a super move, even though this thing is, armored against multiple hits, a super attack will still beat it clean. Okay, it's just a property that it has. The other thing you can do if they choose to jump away is immediately chase them down with this thing. So it's not going to look quite right because I can't set the dummy to jump back, but you're actually rooted for a while. You can see I'm moving left and right. You're actually rooted for quite a long while after that command throw. So they're basically immediately standing. They will get a chance to jump before you can actually do anything. If you hit them with the command throw. So there's kind of a limited setup that you have off of that command throw. So again, if they're jumping back, you can chase them with the boot, or you can chase them down more realistically with this thing. Try to go for something. Okay, things are very different if you get them with the normal throw. Okay, so normal throw, you can see they're knocked down and I immediately have motion. Right? I can be up in the air and I can go for really gross setups. So we got the throw, and the basic thing that you can go for is this splash combo. So talking about his jumping move, so jumping neutral is this kind of spacing fist. It just puts a wall of fist that your opponent has to deal with. It is the aerial equivalent of this boot. It is active for a pretty considerable amount of time, and deals that 1 point of damage, gets you that distance. It does push them a fair distance away, but yeah, it's another stop sign. This and the boot are basically aerial and ground versions of each other. If you're holding back or forward A, you get this splash. This will cross up, so you always defend the splash by blocking towards Rook. or sorry, you block it from. That's a really good question, actually. No, okay. So if it lands in front of you, you got to hold back. But if it's landing behind, you've got to hold towards. Towards his original position, basically. And just to show what you get off of this, we'll do after the first hit, so you can see you can immediately go into his sweep. So that is a true combo. I've got the dummy set to block after the first hit. So you get the knockdown, and you're, again, still in motion early enough that you can immediately go for splash. The other thing you can do after this is go for the boot for 3 damage. So this gives you 2 and knockdown. Oh, did it too slowly. So this gives you 2 and knockdown, so you can try to go for another setup. Or this cashes out for big damage and puts you at fair distance from your opponent. You're probably going to have to get in again from this distance. And you can do this splash really late. Oh, sorry. Oh, I can show it off here. So you can do it really late and really low to the ground. If I can get it lower than that. Yeah, so you can like really, really hover with Rook. And it's pretty gross. You get that combo. So that's pretty mean. So you're probably going to want to block if Rook gets you with the knockdown. So you can mix that up, immediately go for command throw or normal throw. Right? If they're blocking, if they're holding left or right, they're in a throwable state. You can just get normal throw again, which again, this is your ideal, right? You'd rather not get the command throw because the command throw does not allow you then to continue the setup. But if you get normal throw, you can immediately go for new shenanigans. You can time the jump so you immediately land and throw them. If you think that they're just going to stand there, you can go for splash and get continuous gross combo setup potential. Just pressing that too late. It'll always combo if you get it successfully. Just again, use that input buffer and get that combo every time. Or again, yeah, just immediately jump over and go for normal throw or command throw. So if you think they're just going to stand there, or if you think they're going to block, you can go for normal throw again, which restarts the cycle. If you think they're going to try to jump out of your, if they're expecting this and throw, you can hit them with the splash and either cash in for 3 damage to try to kill, or get them with the splash set up and then go for more stuff. Right? It's gross. Use the vortex. Don't let him leave the vortex. As soon as you are in, it's your time to party. So the way they can deal with this is by doing a reversal. Rooks, for instance, let's see, wake up is reversal. So as soon as we do this, we're going to try to splash them. And they're going to get, they're going to grab, Graves got his ground super, so that'll work. If we try to go for command grab, and see that's going to be interrupted. So your other option is just block. Standard stuff. Get the throw. Cross up. Wait. And then cash in damage or go for the command throw. Put them on the ground, etc. Okay, sweet. So once we're in, we've got a couple of different options that they can do. So how do we get in? So we've got a ground option already. That's the armored dash. That can be pretty good. We can get through a projectile that way pretty quickly. The other options, so we are going to take damage if we do that though. The other options you have are his Air B, so his Air Special 1, which is this aerial lariat. The lariat being the universal signal for passes right through projectiles. It's got pretty good distance on the vines. Those vines will hit pretty far from Rook's body, as you can see. You can get it from pretty long distance, and it's not very safe on block. But again, this can get you through projectiles pretty handily. So their response to that is, again, I'm not exactly sure on this version of the build, and I don't have a dummy that can just spam attacks to test this with. But in previous versions, this was pretty interruptible. I think the hitbox is, or the hurt box on the move. I guess it is the hitbox. I don't know. I don't know about fighting games, whatever. The damaging part of this move is really just the vines. So his legs are a vulnerable point, I believe. And a lot of the zoner types, and Grave in particular, have, you know, his standard normal is just this kind of aerial knife hand where his attack will kind of hit right here. It'll poke out, and that'll push Rook. You know, Rook will fly back, and then you can usually fireball as well as a follow-up. So you can really punish these lariat jump-ins. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with fireball, immediate poke? Well, your other aerial option. So we've talked about, you know, his splash doesn't really do you much good, and if his lariat isn't working, he has a third kind of mobility and setup option. So what you can do is you jump over the fireball with the jump, and then just shy of where he would be able to poke you. So if you continued the arc, you'd definitely be able to poke you there. But what you can do is you can arrest your jump with jump C, so his second special move. It immediately stops his forward motion. It's going to drop him directly out of the sky. You can do it pretty low to the ground as well, although you are going to immediately pause there. Got pretty good. It's got 1 damage off of it. It does knock down if it hits, and if they are on the ground, which they should be if they're trying to knife hand you, trying to normal you out of the air, it's going to knock them down. And immediately on knockdown, you can press B to get in. So just to illustrate how long of a distance that is, if I immediately start pressing B, very, very close there, and that was a neutral jump. So if I'm actually jumping forward and then immediately going there, that's basically C special distance. So you can cross a lot of distance on a successful aerial C. And yeah, you can do that. It is also kind of a nice tool against setups here. So if they're expecting like cross-up splash, you can hit in front of them, right? Because it's going to take you over. So you hit in front of them, and it will eventually hit behind. So you've got a nice tool here where you can be really ambiguous with how far over the character you've actually gotten. And it gives you the knockdown. That's the important part, right? If I get the knockdown here, still got enough time to go for splash, still got enough time to empty jump, throw, all that good stuff. That's basically it in terms of Rook's game plan. You know, use this to get in close. Once you're in close, try to get either a sweep or a normal throw so that you can get your disgusting vortex setup thing going. And that's the name of the game. Those are his tools. I'm just going to talk really briefly about his supers. So his air super is... oh, got some weird data there. Oh, that's odd. I'm pretty sure that move has 0 frames of startup. I don't know why it's showing that. Oh, maybe that was incorrect. Anyway, it's a pretty quick move. It's got some invulnerability, or it doesn't have any invulnerability, but it has a lot of priority. If you hit with the very first frame of the attack, you're going to get a stun animation and be able to throw the opponent for 2 damage. So it's going to hit with 2 damage. So it's a good jump-in tool. So if they're trying to counter-poke you, you can usually see it coming and immediately press super to be able to punish them there. The other thing you can do is if they are neutral jumping out of your command grab setups, you can immediately neutral jump and drop this on him. It will then put Rook back down on the ground, and it stays active until he drops to the ground. If they are blocking, it's very, very safe. If I do always block, it's very safe because the pushback on it is incredible. Like, so if you're worried about throwing this out, you really shouldn't be. There are very few things that they can do, and you're plus 21 at that point as well. I wonder if you can follow this up with... Can I get in? Wow. Okay, that might actually be real. So immediately after a blocked super, I think this might be reasonable. No, okay, it's got 41 frames of startup. No, that's no, that's not real. You can stick out a leg, and if they're pushing a button at the end of that, trying to get in, they might catch the boot. Okay, so that's the air super. Again, good priority. Again, pretty sure it's got invulnerability frames, or it's active on the first, on the 0th frame. In any case, very good priority. Very safe on block. And you get 2 hits if you hit on the very first frame of the headbutt. The other super he has, which of course Checkmate Buster, is his ground super. It is a ranged command grab. It looks flippin' rad. It deals 3 damage, so 50% of most characters' health. And it's just fantastic. Try to land it as often as possible. I believe it passes through projectiles, so if you're close enough and they try to go for a projectile, you can immediately get them with it. Like his special, like his C grab, you can jump out of it, but you can fall into it. So if you can't meaty them with this, unless they are neutral jumping and then just falling straight down and not doing a move. There are no invulnerability frames on it, so if they fall down into it, I think if they are sticking out an attack, they will be fine and beat it. Pretty sure. And if they just jump back and out, they are fine. But it does stick around for a little while. So if they are just neutral jumping, let this be an illustrated lesson on why you should not be neutral jumping against Rook with super. Because as soon as I see you come down, I can stick that out. And you are toast, buddy. So that's going to do it for this intro to Rook. I hope you learned something. I hope it was interesting. Again, if you are new to the game in general and in any way interested in grapplers, this is definitely a great character to start with. If you're interested in grapplers, he's a great character. But if you're just starting out with the game and you want to learn the basics, I think this is a great character to start off with. Again, a lot of hit points, a lot of armor moves. Press C a lot. Just do this. Just come over here. Just the scorpion command grab. Let's just see the distance. Oh, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy this content. I'll see if I can do some more other character guides as I get more interested in other character guides and explore some different stuff. And until next time, enjoy yourself some Rook. Enjoy yourself some Fantasy Strike. Cheers.